Hello and welcome to the Cyberhut TV. My name is Simon Moffat. I'm founder and analyst at the Cyberhut. And in our vendor introduction series, I get to interview some of the leading identity security startups all around the globe. And I'm absolutely honoured and fortunate to have Justin from Authsignal with me today. Justin, hello.
Hello, thanks for having me, Simon.
Not at all. Thanks for taking some time out to chat with me today. I appreciate running any business, any startup is tough, it's busy, so taking time out is absolutely fantastic. And the idea behind our introduction series, for those who have not seen it before, is essentially I interview and ask some of the key founders some three really quite important questions about problems they're solving and why these issues are becoming so pertinent now. And essentially, we start off with a really simple question: is what is the problem which Authsignal is looking to solve?
Thanks, Simon. Well, I think the best way to explain the problem is to explain the story of why we started Authsignal in the first place. Myself and my co-founder, we have been building consumer fintech businesses in things like peer-to-peer lending, buy now, pay later, consumer payments, and we kept on coming across this recurring problem and issue across all the businesses that we were a part of. And very interestingly enough, a lot of the people that we talked to while we first started the business. And this is the ability to balance customer experience with security and fraud risk. It was a very difficult task when we were trying to build this in-house. It was a tension between fraud, cyber, and security risk teams that want to protect the business, but growth and product teams that just needed to scale the business as hard as possible. When you put these two priorities in the same room, they tend to fight, and you tend to get very far not so quickly. So this is the problem. The customer experience and giving everyone the surety that who you're dealing with, the customers that you're dealing with across in digital channels, is fully trusted and you can transact with them.
I think it's fascinating, isn't it? I think historically we've always had security and controls, and they've always been sort of restrictive and inhibitive in stopping people from doing things. But obviously, as you say, that's often in conflict with consumer experience, frictionless login journeys, doing things online or in that sort of customer consumer ecosystem. It's entirely different, isn't it? It is a bit of a conflict. It's definitely something which isn't often overlooked, I think.
Totally agree. And we already see so many issues from internal identity and workforce identity. Trying to get employees to adopt MFA is still not a solved problem. I think we can still say that. There's still big data breaches happening because of the lack of adoption of MFA within the workforce and internal identity systems. So then when you flip it on the other side, what do you do with consumer? If you can't get your employees to adopt it, how do you then protect the consumer? And that's really the focus of our business.
Love that. And I guess the second question, which that leads into, is why is this becoming a problem now? Is it changes in technology? Is it just more customers wanting to do things online? Why is this so important today?
I think as soon as COVID hit, everyone locked down, digital channels just exploded. I think we still, we talk about it and we hear it on the news of the kind of the shift towards digital channels, but we accelerated the need for being able to interact digitally with our customers at a pace that was forced because of the pandemic, right? So that revealed some gaps. Legacy ways of dealing with customers where you can say, hey, look, come down to the branch and we'll look after you. You can't do that anymore post-pandemic, right? And then the shifting, once the pandemic's over, it's been over for a few years now, we've seen that brick and mortar physical locations are starting to really not make any sense anymore. So this large gargantuan shift to digital channels have created one, consumer demand for this high level of service from their service providers, but also the bad actors, that's their bread and butter now. It's trying to knock on the digital channels to try and get past controls.
And this is exactly it, isn't it? I think the more we do online, the more successful your e-commerce system, your airline ticketing systems, the more successful they become. That's basically where the bad guys will target. That they will target successful loyalty schemes, mobile apps, media systems, ticketing systems, because they know there's more people there, and it's that effort reward ratio it's easier for them. So I guess we've got this problem. It's becoming a bigger problem than it was 3, 4, 5 years ago. But what's Authsignal's secret sauce? Why are you guys best to solve some of these problems?
I think from a perspective point of view, we view identity quite differently from, I call, the legacy view of the world, where large siloed identity monoliths, where big projects need to be undertaken to migrate, re-architecture, retool, re-platform, move apps towards OpenID or SSO. Though that was the last 10 to 15 years, right? We lived through the modernization of identity. Now, we found that not everyone, especially in the consumer space, has the capability to do that. It's actually quite limited to a subset of companies with resources and subject matter expertise. And I'm sure you're very familiar with that. There's just not enough identity people. In the consumer space, there's agility, ability to move quickly to respond with customer trends, and this evolving nature of fraud and cyber criminal activity. It's a cat and mouse game. Imagine having to retool and re-platform just because someone's found a new hole, right? So we view it quite differently and go, the consumer space needs a product that can be dropped in very quickly and augment current architectures and systems, and also be deliberately tuned for the customer experience. What we found is most identity platforms give a lot of flexibility, but lack the tuning capabilities for the customer experience. So with Authsignal, we solve the problem by making it super fast through our API-based integration modes. We have a rules engine that allow non-engineers to tune the customer experience to their liking and to their risk profile for any given day. And largely, we have really great integrations with next-gen identity technologies and with things like biometrics. For example, we partner with leading providers like iProve, which you'll be familiar with in the UK. You've just come back from Identity Week and you would have heard Andrew Budd on stage. And next-gen technologies that we offer as part of our solution, like passkeys. So just within this, the breadth of our product, we're really innovating in the consumer space. But I'm excited for also the next 10 years of digital identity. And our roadmap, our plans, we see the world becoming more transactional in nature as we proliferate zero trust principles across not just the workforce, but in everything we do. And with the use of passkeys, digital wallets, the decentralized identity systems, there's new infrastructure that needs to be adopted by many, many platforms. So that's why Authsignal, from our perspective, we're best well placed to tackle this new world, which I'm sure you're very excited of as well.
It's absolutely super. It's super. You describe it in such a super clear, simple way, and I think what I think is exciting is that this stuff, it impacts everybody, doesn't it? I think 10, 15 years ago, identity was very much employees, internal systems. It was very specific, whereas now it is so broad and it affects everything we do online. Our media, our banking, our consumerism, travel, aviation, everything has a baseline of identity, and it definitely brings new use cases around fraud, UX, CX. That ability to do things seamlessly, as you say, requires a real broad set of capabilities. It sounds like you've got a really exciting story there, and a really good understanding, I think, as well, as to that end-to-end journey, which I think is really powerful. So I think it is a journey, isn't it? It is an end-to-end management of those sort of customer and consumer identities. So super. Thank you very much, Justin.
Oh, thanks, Simon. I think the end-to-end is a great way to describe it. But ultimately, it's putting yourself in the shoes of a customer and actually going, will I want to use this? Or will I go somewhere else where they offer some really great frictionless experiences? And I think that's the biggest thing for B2C platforms that are interacting with consumers.
Yeah, and I think, as always, these things have to be seamless, and I think if you sort of notice them, that's when you're doing it wrong, I guess, isn't it? It's when the end user sort of notices that they have to reset themselves or they can't log in or everything else. So it's definitely that complex mix of security, fraud, and usability as well. So Justin, thanks for taking some time out. I appreciate you guys are busy trying to transform and change the world in this space. So I appreciate taking sort of 10 minutes out to give us an update here. This has been another episode of our vendor introduction series for the Cyberhut TV. Justin from Authsignal, thank you very much. And until next time, we will see you later. Thank you.